Once upon a time, in a cheerful little village surrounded by green rolling hills and colorful flowers, there lived a tiny mouse named Millie. Millie was a curious little mouse with big shiny eyes, fluffy whiskers, and an adventurous heart. But there was one thing Millie didn't understand: the meaning of the word happiness. She often heard the other animals talking about it, and wondered what it really meant. One sunny morning, Millie decided to go on a quest to find out what happiness was. First, she scurried over to the wise old owl, who was busy tidying up his library in the tallest tree. "Mr. Owl, what is happiness?" Millie squeaked. The wise owl tilted his head and replied, "Happiness, my dear, is like a warm book on a chilly day. It fills your heart like a good story fills your imagination." Millie thought that was interesting and thanked the owl before continuing her journey. Next, she visited Freddie the frog, who was happily splashing around in the pond. "Freddie, can you tell me what happiness is?" Millie asked. Freddie paused mid-splash and said, "Happiness is like the feeling of the cool water on a hot day. It refreshes you and makes you feel alive." Millie nodded and made her way to the meadow, where she found Daisy the deer nibbling on some sweet grass. "Daisy, do you know what happiness is?" Millie inquired. Daisy smiled gently and said, "Happiness is like having the warm sun on your back and the wind whispering a gentle melody in your ears. It's a peaceful and warm feeling inside." Millie appreciated everyone's different explanations, but still felt a tiny bit confused. As she traveled back home, she stumbled upon a group of village children laughing and playing games. Always curious, Millie decided to watch them for a while. Seeing their joy and laughter made Millie chuckle too. And suddenly, as if by magic, she began to feel happiness bubbling up inside her. It felt like everything she had experienced that day, the warmth, the refreshment, the peace, and the joy, was mingling together in her tiny heart. With a skip in her step, Millie realized that happiness could be different things to different creatures, but for her, it was about feeling good and being surrounded by friends and love. With her newfound understanding, Millie scurried back to her mouse hole, happily humming her own sweet tune. And from that day on, Millie the mouse understood that happiness was a wonderful feeling that could fill her heart in many ways, just like Mr. Owl, Freddie, Daisy, and the laughing children had shown her.